It's been a while since my last video, and I'm trying to think about what the last video was, and it was probably about the AI agency. And let me tell you what has happened with that. Long story short, that is no longer a thing. And I'll tell you why. It was something that I was super hyped up about in the moment. You know, the AI images, AI influencers was a big thing. There was a lot of hype around it. And it's not that the hype has, I guess that hype has died down, but the opportunity for it is still there. Like you could make a lot of money if you were to really dive into the AI influencer space. Like when I started the agency, it didn't take long for me to get my first client and like pull in $6,000 deals. Like the money is there, and if you really dive deep into it, you can make a lot of money with it. But I figured out as I was going on with the AI agency that it was just something I really did not want to do. Like I'm still in the AI space, I still make videos on AI, and I'm still very interested in AI. And during that whole journey of creating an agency, getting partners involved, it didn't take long for me to realize that that was not something I was interested in doing. It's not something I wanted to do. No, I didn't like not knowing the technical side of things and having to rely on other people on doing that. And I started to figure out that I just like doing things myself. I like being able to do things myself. I don't like having to rely on a team or other people. And I think that's just kind of who I am. And I've always kind of been that way. Looking back on like what I've done, the jobs that I've worked and why I hated them, I'm just piecing the puzzle of myself and what I like doing. And I'm just kind of a one-man army, and I like that. I'd rather it be that way. There's just a lot of stresses of having a team and having people rely on you. I just like the only person I have to rely on and the only person anybody has to rely on is me. I like having it that way, and I've always kind of been that way. Like the last business type thing that has worked for me in the past was YouTube gaming. I was a gaming YouTube persona, whatever you want to call it, and I loved doing it. Like that was probably one of the most exciting times in my life, is like when my gaming YouTube channel started to really pop off, and I started to see the views and the money go up and the subscribers. And I was pretty much the only person running that ship, learning how YouTube works with thumbnails, titles, metadata, like figuring out everything from start to finish. I knew how to edit Photoshop and like what the most effective thumbnails were for the niche that I was in. Like that was all so fun to me, and I didn't have, okay, sorry for this beeping, let me turn off my radar. Like there was no area for anything to be bottlenecked, because the only person I had to rely on was myself, because I knew how to do everything from start to finish. There was no bottlenecking, there was no relying on anybody. But yeah, the AI agency had a lot of people involved, a lot of people that were relying on me and that I had to rely on. It just started to seem like a job. I think that's one of the biggest things that I didn't like, is it just started to seem like a job. And honestly, I'm a pretty lazy person, but that's what I like. I like the freedom of being lazy if I want to. Like waking up late, staying up late, not having to clock in or have a meeting with somebody at a certain time. I like doing a thing that just doesn't seem like a job. And when it starts to feel like a job, that's when I really just push away. And that is what I started to see happening with the AI agency. Even though I knew I could make a lot of money with this if I really dived deep into it, I didn't care. I didn't care about the money. I was missing the freedom that I had before. And I think what got me into kind of starting the agency is, if you're in the entrepreneur space of social media, you see a lot of like Emad Gadzhi, Alex Hormozi, all these other entrepreneur social media people like screaming like, you gotta scale, you gotta make this amount of money in this certain time. And it made me feel like I had to do that. Like I had to get a team and this person to like scale this operation to a certain amount of revenue per month. But I just found out that just wasn't my thing. It's not something I wanted to do. And I'm not saying the information these entrepreneur social media people are giving or are putting out isn't good information. It's probably really good information, but it's not what everybody wants. But I felt like that's what I had to do to be successful. It just wasn't for me. is what I found out. And this idea is kind of something that I've been thinking about the past few months. Is like, well, if that's not what I want, then what do I want? Freedom. I could say that's what I want. And 2, I do want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to put so much pressure on myself to do that. And I don't know if that's just me. I'm a pretty anxious person. So when I hear a lot of people saying, you have to have this amount of people, you have to make this amount of money per month to be successful, and then I don't get that, or I start to feel that's not for me, I start to feel like, well, maybe I'm a failure. But it doesn't have to be that way. So that kind of brings me to where I am today. And, well, what do I plan on doing? Well, I plan on going back to my course, back to learning how to create a helpful, valuable, useful course that makes money, that makes me money. And I'm not really here to talk about the course, but if you're wondering what the course is about, it's basically all the knowledge that I've learned about content creation, every single bit, my whole mind put into this is basically what I'm going to make. And I'm in the process of it now. I have a few videos on it. I'm still working on it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I'm hitting a wall in my head of what to talk about. But I guess this video is more about like doing what you actually want, or before you even do what you want, you have to find out what that is. What is it that you actually want? Are you doing it because other people are telling you that you should do it and telling you that you need to do this to be successful? Or are you actually doing it for yourself, and is it something that you want to do? And I am kind of seeing similarities of, like, I grew up in a family where my grandparents and parents would tell me that you have to go to college to be successful. There is no other way. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that, is you're not going to be successful if you don't go to college. And pretty early on, I figured out that the college route wasn't for me. Like, it was in my bones. My bones were telling me that this is not what you want to do. I just remember going to the community college and having to go on the computer and sign the promissory note, and just feeling this huge amount of dread coming over me, and being like, okay, we're doing this. I don't know why we're doing this, but we are signing this promissory note and getting into debt for something we don't even want to do or know what we are going to do with it. Like, they would just tell me to go to college, and it's fine if you don't know what you want to do yet. You just need to go to college so you can get that general education, and along the way, you might find it. You might find out what you want to do. I didn't like the thought of that. I wanted the end point to be in mind. And I just think that's what a lot of people do right now, is they're going to college and they don't even know why they are. And just having that thought in my mind of like, okay, I'm doing this, I don't know why, or how, or what for, I'm doing it, and I'm spending this amount of time and money on it. It just felt so dreading, dude. It was horrible. So what is my end point now? What is the goal that I'm aiming for? I can't really say that I have a big, grand goal that I'm aiming for. The goal that I have in mind right now, and it's more of a short-term goal, is to just finish the course. To just finish it, to have it done. If I were just to have that done and not even sell it, I would feel pretty fulfilled. And I've done this in the past. I've made a course, I've made a course that is pretty similar to this in the past, and just the feeling of having it done and ready to sell just felt so good. It was one of the best moments in my life. And then actually having someone buy the course, that was next level. I was beaming. I was glowing. Just seeing somebody finding something that I put work into and then willing to pay $100 for it, that was awesome. That felt so good. So my goal right now is to just have the course done. And another thing I've kind of figured out about myself is that I cannot work on the same thing for a long time. I always need stuff that I'm juggling, because when I get tired with one thing, I could just do this other thing that I'm working on. So the big things that I'm working on now are the course, creating content on my Instagram, making music. Making music is such a creative outlet for me. I don't make any money from it. It's just fun to do. And I'm also just like messing around with making content out of my friends' live streams. Like, I know nothing is coming from that, but it's just fun to take someone's live streams or whatever activity that they like doing it and putting it online to get views. Like, that's just fun for me to do. Like, I literally just take his videos from his Twitch live stream, download them, put it into my video editing software, and make like 2 to 3 clips out of it that I don't really care. It's like I don't really care if this gets views. Well, I do care if it gets views, but I don't really care if this like pops off. I don't even know if I could say that. I would love for it to pop off, but it's not like a thing I have a burning desire to do. Like, he could stop streaming, I could get tired of making these videos, and it wouldn't matter. It's just a fun thing to do on the side, and it's kind of related to what I do anyway, which is creating content and putting it online. I'm just doing it for somebody else for fun. And for the music stuff, I actually do make music. I actually do teach people. Like, if I learn a cool sound design method, I'll make a quick video about it and put it on my page, and that page has actually done really well on TikTok and Instagram. And I get a lot of well-known music artists in the space like commenting and liking my videos, and I think that's super cool. I absolutely know that I could do something with that music page. Like, I could sell processes, tools, guides, tutorials. I know I could do pretty well in that, but that's just kind of more of a side thing for me. Like, the big project for me is creating this course that teaches other people how to do the same thing and grow their brand and audience, and then being able to sell products to their audience. Like, that is like the big project that I have in mind right now. That's kind of where I am now. If you've gotten to the end of this video, just comment strawberry in the comments of this video so I know that somebody, a human, is watching this video. I don't know if anybody will ever watch this. I'm just kind of putting this out there. It's kind of what I want this YouTube to be, is just kind of my raw thoughts, experiences, kind of like a little journal, a little video journal. So if you've made it, comment strawberry in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that is.